人々が穏やかに暮らし、万象が一新された今、まさに人の世の良き時代と言える。
Hey, what's up, Bavish? How you doing, man? How's your day going? Two days. Let's see. And yet... Okay, then I guess that means I won't do weekly requests today. Why was the cloud retainer face so zoomed? I don't know, just something I thought of. You know, like so I don't know if you noticed this, but when I'm about to end the stream, I always do this. So I don't know. I thought instead of like, because I don't have like the special mouse anymore. I just have like this $5 A4 Tech mouse. I don't have like the special the extra buttons that I could program to, just scroll up or scroll down by just holding it down. I now have to literally I now have to physically use the mouse wheel. So instead of doing that, I just set it up in OBS. You know, it's a terrible zoom because it's not actually zooming in game, it's just zooming into my screen. So it's super low res. But hey, it's instant. Me, I'm good, man. I'm good. Just pretty warm. Weather still hasn't let up. I guess the face is a little too zoomed in. Yeah, maybe I should fix that. Yeah, half body should be fine. All right, let's see. Maybe we could fix that live. All right, this is gonna be this is gonna be really jank. So bear with me. Yep, there it is. Excuse me. And come on. Yep, there we go. Lovely ping. Right, you should start every stream with that ultra zoomed face. Hey, that's I did that literally today, and I think I also did it last time. I'm not sure if I started with it, but I'm pretty sure I ended with it. All right, is this? No, this is still pretty big. This is certainly taking a while. Okay. Now it's a little too small. Okay. All right. I think that should be. Okay. Still a little small. Still a little small. Okay. I think that's okay. Let's try a tall character. And okay, let's have a short character too. Well, I'm enjoying seeing a person zoom in his screen. I have no idea, dude. Maybe it's because like you see, like some it seems like a behind the scenes kind of thing. Okay, I think that seems right. Tall character models' heads are a little cut off, but should be acceptable. All right. Yep. Yep. That is. I think that's fine. So, how was your weekend, Babish? You do anything interesting this weekend? Where's my mouse? There we go. My cursor. There we go. Hey, what's up, Luap? How you doing, man? I don't know. What do you think, Babish? Do you think the half body thing is okay? Or did you like? I mean, like it's certainly a lot less jank because I'm not zoomed in so much. Like I can't see individual pixels anymore. But I think like there was something. I don't know, funny. There's something funny about me being way zoomed in. I just came back to my hostel to study again on the weekend. Ah, I see. You got exams coming? I've been using up quite a lot of my XP books lately. I think I mentioned that last stream. So yeah. While I couldn't care less for these leyline. Well, now they're called events, but you know, they didn't used to be events. They just used to be like freebies. These I couldn't care less for these leyline events, but hey, you know, like half 50% off resin, I guess is not too bad. For I don't know, 5-6 days I think. In a month, then I'll be free for 3 months, then party. Hey, nice. I'm not familiar with these ley lines, so I certainly hope none of these guys are immune to cryo. Why did my ping shoot up all of a sudden? When? My ping was just 250, yeah. Like a moment ago. Ah, there. Should I? Okay, so apparently ley lines don't count towards. Towards the encounter point stage. Encounter points. I'm just gonna call them encounter points from now on. feel like that zoom just makes the stream interesting. It's funny in some way for me. Yeah, me too actually. Like there's something about it. Like it just and I get the feeling that I might be able to use it for like comedic purposes. You know, just like in the moment comedic purposes because it's so zoomed in. Yeah, I think I might just put that back later. Okay, this is not very zoomed in, but we will fix that soon. Okay, let the jank begin. Man, my ping was fine just a moment ago. No. Bigger. No, bigger. Okay, I feel like... Okay, I think this is about as big as when before I changed it. Where's... Gone... You... Is that gone you? Well, it kind of looks like gone you. Hey, I think that's gone you. Where is she? Oh, there. Okay, wait. Huh. I guess she's actually gone. You are gone. Whoops. Oh, yep. That's the wrong place. Is the odd zoom intended? I'm trying to set it up because I think one day I will intentionally want to zoom in. So doesn't seem to work very well for really tall characters. I think that's fine. Yeah. Why is Bennett, like, I noticed this when I was first setting this up, that Bennett just doesn't seem to be stood up straight. Like, look, he's off center. When I swap to Ganyu. Okay, that's funny. Right, Ganyu's centered. Now he does centered. Zhongli's, you know, off center. Well, I guess it's because of how he's standing up. Like, he doesn't seem to be perfectly straight either. Yeah, like his right shoulder seems to be a little further back than the other one. These look goofy. I know, and that's why I'm trying. I regret changing it a few minutes ago. Okay, I love these. This is awesome. I'm gonna keep that. Perfect. That's gonna come in real handy. Imagine some new person joins. It's the first thing they see us do. I mean, they're gonna be like, am I not supposed to be here? Zoom in on on what? On what buttons? Excuse me? Maybe. I mean, who knows, right? Like maybe that's exactly what I'm getting this prepared for. I mean, could be not. So, what did you guys think about Arlecchino? I'm sure you guys probably some of you guys probably knew about Arlecchino way before I found out anything about her. But I don't know. She seems interesting, like in the way that her kits, like at first glance, like when you don't know anything about it and you first want to find out how it works, it's like, oh, this is cool. Oh, this is new, right? Like it feels like that. But ultimately, it's like a different Hu Tao, is what it is. But instead of negative HP, it's like you need negative healing. But in her case, it's need and not. It's not just an effect of doing what you need to do. Whereas on Hu Tao, what you need to do is you press E before you begin your DPS window. And then like losing HP is just a side effect of that. Whereas on her, on Arlecchino, it seems to be required. I don't know, like at least that's what I got from what limited information we got from the special program. They say she's coming in 4.7. Wow, they really you know, I'm getting more. When I found out that okay, Chlorine not coming 4.6, not coming 4.5, like the further back I realized she was coming, the worse I felt about what was, how she was potentially gonna be. Because while I can't remember exactly, right? I'm sure I'm wrong, but I just can't help but, I just can't help but feel like I've often been underwhelmed in the last few patches before the next big 0.0 update. And that includes, obviously, it's been a long time since the Archon quest finished, and there typically aren't a lot of big world quests then. I missed such a big target. And yeah, but I don't know. I just don't remember feeling super excited for most of, if not all, most of the last few patches before a big 0.0 update. So that makes me feel like, is she gonna be bad? That's the feeling I'm getting. Arlecchino's kit looks fun. Reminds me of Hu Tao that has no problems whatsoever. Well, I mean, there are a few problems, I think, with Arlecchino's kit. Now, obviously, I don't know the exact details of it, but like, there are a couple problems that I could think of. Like the fact that you can't heal. The only way you can heal is with your burst. Right, which means that, so while her starting your DPS on her, your DPS window is not burst reliant, survival will be burst reliant, because there would be no other way to to give her a defensive option other than giving her a shielder. So shielder, if you have Zhongli, great, problem solved. But that also immediately limits you to like, instead of like having so many more team options, having to being fixed, like one of your team slots being fixed to Zhongli because you're not comfortable not having a shielder because you can't heal outside of your burst. That, while not completely, but that compared, that severely limits your team building capabilities, right? Like it instantly removes quite a lot more, quite a lot of potential teams you could run her in. But again, that is dependent on your skill, which probably, you know, covers a lot of Genshin players. But hey, who's counting, right? Don't act instant, RJ. We saw that. We saw what clearance button community post you posted before. Oh no! How did they dig that up? I thought I buried that. I didn't attend the stream, so can someone tell me what happened in a special program? Nothing much, just some Arlecchino information. Arlecchino weekly boss, yeah, Arlecchino weekly boss, Arlecchino story quest, Sino story quest. What else? Lyney rerun, of course. Lyney rerun, Wander and Baizhu rerun, and then some events. Arlecchino, you can just press E, swap off, do your setups, Kaza, whatever, then swap to her, charge attack, absorb the mark, smash normal attacks. Okay, it sounds like a pretty, well, I wouldn't say it's a fun, I wouldn't say it's a better playstyle than Hu Tao's. I would say it's just different. Right, it's just different. Like with Hu Tao, you do your setups before you press E, and there's like no other mechanic. You just press E and then you start. Now the problem, the downside with Hu Tao is having to like not doing animation cancels severely reduces your potential DPS on her. Right, that's the one big disadvantage of Hu Tao. And I understand, like for some of us. Right, like for probably most of us here, we don't mind learning animation cancels, but for a big majority of Genshin players, we probably don't want to bother, especially if you're playing on mobile, right? Yeah, and Hu Tao. So Hu Tao is not strictly single target. She has like the dash through. A mechanic as her AoE. Of course, you can't dash through large enemies, but you can dash through smaller enemies. But still, right? She has a form of AoE, but is very dependent on positioning, which is going to be a lot harder if you just aren't very good with video games in general, or if you're a newer player, or if you're playing on mobile, or maybe even console, and you're just not good at playing games on mobile or on a console or whatever, right? So it's it's severely like your lack of skill or difficulty based on your interface is going to severely I guess change your potential DPS on Hu Tao, whereas with the way you described it in Arlecchino's case just seems like, okay, as long as you do things right, everything will be easy. Just mash normal attack. And she has a bit of AoE. Now, I've heard rumors that her AoE isn't super big. Like at least, like according to the footage we saw from the special program, it looks like it's as big as Pyronado. But I've heard people say some not so nice things about the AoE. I thought her special flying thing is horrible though. Like its stamina it consumes and that multipliers are not up to neuvillette standards. Ah, I see. Her burst cost I think is quite low. You can just zhongli or learn to dodge. All right, I'm gonna pull out an old meme here. One does not simply learn to dodge, my friend. Years, whether you're a new player or you're an old player that has had zhongli since forever, One does not simply learn to dodge. But her burst cost is, I think, is quite low. Yeah, learn to dodge. So she's Hu Tao, but can't be healed. Well, in some way, Hu Tao does have like something like that, right? Like that she can't be. It's not in Hu Tao's case. You don't want to heal, right? You don't want to heal. Like if you guys have seen all the Hu Tao memes, you know, with healers, like there was an Akira meme. I love that one. That was probably my favorite Hu Tao healer meme. The Akira meme. There was like the one with there were a bunch of memes. Like typically they're like audio memes that are inserted into clips of Hu Tao and having a healer. That's Hu Tao's problem in co-op when you have a healer. Yeah, okay. I love the way that I love the clip. No, the short that Daddy One has of that. I love it. It's funny. I'm sure it's not the funniest out there, but I don't know. I like it. I like it. It's pretty funny. Leave me alone. Exactly. Ding, Akira. I'm so happy that I actually took the time. Like, I didn't watch Akira. Like, you know, despite me being quite old, right? I didn't watch Akira when I was younger. I actually only watched it less than a year ago. Right? Like, but I've been hearing about Akira, you know, everywhere in like basically every aspect, and hearing how good it is, both the animation, the storytelling, everything. Everything all the time. Like I often hear about Akira. Every time I hear about it, I hear good things about it. And I, for some reason, have just not taken the time to watch it until like about less than a year ago. And I'm so happy that I watched it. It is like there's something about it that's makes me feel like I don't know. It just the whole movie. I just couldn't help but feel unnerved. The whole movie, but at the same time satisfied, like at the end. That it seemed to work out, but like it's weird how it's sort of like from grounded storytelling, and then like at the end you find out that oh, this is like multiverse stuff. What happened was they got teleported and potentially started creating a new universe, and then they were like, so what happened? Right? But I love that there's no more continuation, because that's part of the experience. Is you get that little, I don't know how to describe that feeling. That feeling of dissatisfaction that you didn't get a final answer, you didn't get full closure. And you're just left wondering, and I love it because it's like it's really good because it keeps people talking about it. Oh, I don't want to burst here. This guy's basically dead. You want her to have a bonded life as long as possible to squeeze in as much pyro infusion as possible. Healing away would be detrimental to her kit. Yeah, but then like you still can't heal, right? For at least from according to the way they worded it. So, yeah. So I don't think you're gonna be able to remove the bond of life. Yeah. Anyway, because you can't heal outside of her own burst. She can't be healed. Thoughts on Arlecchino? She can step on me, mommy Arlecchino. Oh my god. Wait. Correction. Not mommy. But by this point, I'm sure you guys know. Father. If Arlecchino didn't have that passive, her infusion uptime would be non-existent. You're right, well. Sorry, which message? Which one? They made Arlecchino not be able to be healed is the best thing in her kit. Yeah, but like I mean, like I understand that, and it is like what makes her function, right? Because it's if you really want to like explain it, like even yeah, like if you really want to explain how it works, like it's like, oh, you need to do this to if you want to do this, you need to do this so that this happens, so that this happens, and then you can't do this, so this will always happen as long as you do this. It's like it's complicated, and yet when you actually play it, it's very unga bunga. Is my expectation. That's my expectation, because like, so look at Neuvillette's talent description, look at Furina's talent descriptions, and like play them. That's exactly how I feel. I'm like, I don't know, spending a month studying for like what seems like finals, but it, you know, it's not actually finals. It's just I'm studying a character's kit. And yet when I play them, like, oh, this is surprisingly easy. I thought it was gonna go harder than this, but apparently not. Which is fine. That just means it's good character design. Like, sorry, not character design, but like kit design. Not to say that they don't have good character design. They also have really good character design. I am a little unsure though. Like, still something that I've wondered is, so I'm sure they're gonna make Chlorind be very good with someone. Now, seeing as she is Furina's what, aide? Bodyguard? I don't know. I assume, at least lore-wise, it would make sense if they make Chlorind work really well with Furina. But seeing as she's Electro, wouldn't that mean that we'd have to do something with like Electro Charge or something? And I haven't seen any evidence of Hoyo leaning in that direction, right? Like they did the thing with Overload, right? They showed us like a little evidence that they're setting up the potential improvement of Overload with Chevreus's release, but they haven't done anything for Electro Charge, aside from the transformative reaction buffs from way back then in ancient times. So I don't know, it just makes me feel like I don't think Chlorind is going to be made for Furina. And with Chevreus's release, it makes me think, is she going to work well with Arlecchino? And if that's the case, am I gonna have to pull for Arlecchino if I want to fully enjoy using using Chlorind? I hope she can work in double hydro strongly as good as Hu Tao. She, yeah, speaking of which, yeah, like she is very much like Hu Tao. A lot of her potential teams, at least with the limited knowledge I have about her, the way she works, she's basically Hu Tao. Yeah. Hu Tao works in Mono Pyro. She can potentially work in Mono Pyro. Right? Like, it's just... It's my first time doing Abyss. Super comfy. Really? My current Abyss team. Team 1, Naida, Shingcho, Yeon, Cookie. Nada, Xingqiu, and Yelan. Oh my god, you have Xingqiu and Yelan together in one team. Jeez. That is going to be super comfy. Team 2, Neuvillette, Furrdyssey, Kazuha. You have Furrdyssey, Kazuha, Baizhu. How are you breaking the Geo shield? You know, the whatever it's called. On chamber 3 second half? Kazuha, like you're just plunge attacking on Kazuha? Kazuha or Furrdyssey? Okay. Yeah, but I mean, like highly inefficient, but at least it works, I guess. But hey, your first half team is like really, you know, it has a 6-star character in it, so I guess it'll make your second half a lot more comfy. Also, the last enemy isn't very tanky. It's just the shield thing, and it hits pretty hard. Is just what makes it hard. RJ, Hoyo is leaning to burning with yes, they're burning. Yes, that's right. That's right. I think electro charge is very much possible. Yeah, but they haven't done anything so far, and like typically they, at least none that I've noticed. From what I've noticed is they tend to do stuff like this really early on, and it's in very subtle ways that nobody ever thinks of, right? Like for example, Homa. Okay, and it's weird too. Sometimes it seems like they release a, let's say, a 4-star, for example, right? They release a 4-star, and like at first glance, it makes you think, oh, so this character is a support for this character. Oh, well, he's not very good. And then 6 version updates later, you find out people are saying, oh, he got a buff. But then, wouldn't you think this was Hoyo's plan all along? I mean, who knows? Maybe it was their plan. Maybe they just screwed up and found a way to fix it later. I don't know. Who knows, right? Like, it could be, yeah, could be either way. Could be either one. Lorend is made for Sint. That's also my problem. Is because, yeah, it's like she's very much eye candy. She's very much kind of, well, I wouldn't say fan service, but yeah, she's very much eye candy. So I'm really concerned that they're gonna treat her almost the same way that they treated Dia. Well, Dia kinda eye candy, but other than that, she also has a really well developed in-game character, like lore wise. Plus the fact that she went to standard made it so that, I don't know, it's like they just had every excuse to be able to give her such bad players. You can dash, cancel plunge attacks super fast with sword characters. You can, yeah. I actually very often do that when I'm just playing in Abyss and like having fun, and sometimes I forget to bring a Claymore character. I have to make do with plunge dash canceling their with a sword character. Kind of annoying because like sometimes I get impatient and I have to dash cancel. I'm sure I could have dash canceled like 1 or 2 less times than I have. But I just get impatient and I just keep spamming it in the end. So by the time that the shield's broken, I'm out of stamina. So I can't dash cancel my my other stuff anymore. Like for example, I Q on Xingqiu and then I E, dash cancel, E, dash cancel, swap, and then yeah, like I don't know like when it happened, but for some reason I somehow developed this habit of like dash canceling Xingqiu's E. And I'm pretty sure that's why some theory crafters prefer Xingqiu on Fab Sword, because it means like about half a second less field time for Xingqiu, because you only have to E once, and the white particles are also a lot more helpful for everybody else on the team, instead of just Xingqiu getting more particles. Oh man. Okay, there we go. I'm curious, has anyone tried Neuvillette, Nilo, Super Bloom? Quite curious how practical the team would be. Yeah, you know, now you mention it, I don't think I've ever seen anyone use that. Right? But I'm pretty sure it works well, right? At least, like, you know, in my head, I'm trying to picture it out. I don't know, it feels like it should work well-ish. Right? Because, like, the character that you're gonna, like, likely gonna on-field has, like, a self-healing thing. Is pretty tanky. So, I don't know. Like, yeah, now you mentioned that, I don't think I've ever seen anyone use it. I always dash cancel Furrdyssey Q for some reason. I don't think it even helps make it faster. You know, the thing that I'm having a lot of trouble with timing is Furrydssey's E. Sorry, I'm not sure. Hang on, let me think. Is it her E? Yeah, it's her E actually. Yeah, her E. Like, because I like to QE on Furrdyssey sometimes, but sometimes I also EQ. And I don't think it really matters. But when I do QE, I just can't. I don't know. I just don't understand when I'm able to. When I'm able to swap to another character, and when I'm in combat, I'm not good enough at video games to be able to pay attention to like the sound, like, right, like that, right, like that sound that you get. Like, there's a little, I think there's like a little audio cue. Yeah, there's like a little audio cue. Obviously, it's really quiet, and in combat, you're never gonna be able to hear that anymore. And I just am not good enough at video games to like to actually pay attention to like this on-screen message where that tells you can't switch characters yet. Oh, haha, wait, forgot to mention. I've recently been raising our little wolf boy here lately. Razor happy. RJ using Razor. Not sure. Furry. What furry is. Why RJ say thundering furry? What does he call Lisa again? Master? No, I don't think it's Master. What does he call Lisa again? I don't remember. 700 EM. It's not a lot because obviously I have to run Fav Greatsword on him, otherwise I can never burst. But hey. yeah, this zero talents because obviously why would you, right? I'm just trying to get him to 90 ASAP. He calls Lisa mommy, as we all should. Oh my god. After you finish her Q, she stands still for a short while. Should I dash before? Yes, that's exactly what I've noticed. Like there, and I don't think it's even just her Q. I think it's also her E. I don't know, and that's why it's so hard for me to time when I should press my like switch character button in then after if I QE instead of EQ is like I wanna press my character switch once because I have high ping, right? So like I'm used to pressing character switch and then mashing my Q. Like right after I press my character switch, Q, 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 Q. Like I'm immediately like that, even though I don't see the character switch happening yet, because I know it's gonna happen a little, like there's a little delay before it happens, because I know I have high ping. So I don't wanna have to mash my character swap button, because I want my hand to be focused on mashing my burst button for the character that I'm switching to after Furrina. So I don't know, and that's something that I still haven't gotten used to, and I think it's mostly because like I just can't find a reason to excuse me, swap accounts here. Just can't find a reason to use Furrina in the overworld. And Furrina is just one of those characters that I can't use every abyss, right? Like not like Hyper Bloom or like National, where I could just, if I wanted to, I could use it every single abyss, even if it doesn't work. Even if it doesn't work well, even if it's not the most optimal team in whatever abyss configuration we have, I can still use it. So I'm like very comfy with it because I've used it for so long, and I used to use it all the time. But with Furrina, she's just not one of those characters that I could use very often. So I don't get a lot of opportunities to practice like the timing. I know it's like a small thing, but it just makes me feel a little uneasy. There's like one extra thing for me to actually have to pay attention to. How much crit ratio is 14 crit rate and 19 crit damage? Okay. You know what? All right. Just like I always say, teach a man how to fish. Don't give him a fish. Just teach a man how to fish. So crit value is when you, okay, I'll show you like a very obvious example of where you can see this concept in Genshin. So take a look at your crit damage and crit rate circlets. If I can find one, yeah, right? So when you see a crit rate circlet, it only gives you 31.1 at plus 25 star. When you see a crit damage circlet, it gives you 62.2, which means crit rate is about half of crit damage, which means to calculate to even them out, to find a what is this called in mathematics? Common denominator? Yeah, right? To find a common denominator for them, I think that's the right terminology for it. You have to make them the same number. Right? And the way to do that is obviously it's 1 to 2. So you multiply crit rate by 2 before you add it to your crit damage. Why is my chat not moving? Sometimes it's like that. Yeah, you might have to refresh. Like it happens quite often for me. Hey, what's up, Nashity? How you doing, man? I had math exam today. Don't do this to me. I'm sorry, man. I'm so sorry. Trust me, I'm not a math guy myself. I just, for some reason, a lot of the basics that I was taught, and I wouldn't say completely ignored, but like just basically like, you know, shrugged off. In primary school and in high school, are for some reason now coming back to me. Not every day. It doesn't happen every day, but like every now and then I will get like a, like I will, it'll like come back to me. It's not super useful. It just it gives me the right words to use. Sorry about my fault. Cough is killing my throat. No, man. I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh, well, I mean, I don't think I can... All I can do is recommend this, but I can't say it's a cure. But honey, as long as it's, you know, actual honey and not just honey flavored juice. As long as it's actual honey, right? As long as it's actual honey and like as pure honey as you can get, It actually has like how would I describe it? Like pain relieving. The word I'm looking for. For some reason, symptoms is coming to mind, but no, I'm not thinking symptoms. Properties. There you go. Pain relieving properties. And so, while honey is not like openly like, well, I guess I could always go buy like a jar of honey, at the like at least one of the supermarkets here. But yeah, it's not like very available in my city. And I think there's only one supermarket in the city that sells it. You can see like street vendors sell it very seldomly in my city. But most of it, but it's like 1 out of 10. You can actually get like proper pure honey and not diluted honey, and they just added sugar to make it sweeter. Yeah, it's like 1 out of 10, and that includes the supermarket too, the one supermarket that sells it all the time. But yeah, like if you can get your hands on like pure honey, it doesn't have to be like perfectly pure, as long as it's not super diluted. It has like it has what's the word I'm looking for? Pain relieving properties. It's not gonna completely remove it, but it's gonna make it feel a lot less worse, a lot less terrible than how it probably feels right now. So this is something that a lot of people always often mention when your throat hurts from a cough is honey, honey lemon tea. Yeah, if you like to drink tea, yeah, put honey and lemon in it. And as for over here in the Philippines, not a lot of people drink tea, so people just grab a warm cup of water and then add lemon and tea in it. I don't know how the yellow lemon like fares, but over here in the Philippines, that kind of lemon is not very common. So like we always use like the small green ones here. I don't think, what is that even called? what what do Americans call that even? Like here we just call it lemon. No, actually the local name for it is lemoncito. Calamansi. But yeah, I would highly recommend that. So the lemon is like pretty, like I don't know how to, what the proper word for it is. Is it corrosive? I don't know. Like it feels like something like that. It feels like I'm sure it's not corrosive. I'm sure it doesn't dissolve paper in lemon juice, but it quite it clears out quite well like any phlegm that you have stuck in your throat. And it's it's lemon, right? So you get a lot of vitamin C from it as well. Yeah, and the honey is what sort of relieves the pain. Like the lemon clears out your throat, so it doesn't remove like the pain that you feel, but because it clears it, like if you don't have honey, for example, if you're just drinking like warm lemon water, then it will still help quite a bit. It'll like give you like a little stinging sensation, but because it's gonna clear out your throat for a little bit, plus the fact that you're getting that vitamin C from that lemon, it's great. But it's still better if you have lemon in it. Lime. Oh, that's the word I'm looking for, lime. But wait, when we Google lime, we also see like really big ones, like basically the yellow ones, but green, and not like the small green ones. I think, I'm pretty sure that's the case. I'm not sure. I just said I'm pretty sure, and then I said I'm not sure. I realize that now. Yo, what's up? Fayz, Yoda, King, Naruto, Luffy, go. What? Okay, well, I'll take that as I'll take that as your big anime fan, huh? But hey, what's up, man? Welcome. No, sorry, Yoda. That's not anime. Sorry, not just anime fan. There you go. All right, that works. Nailed it. I did try everything and I was feeling good. Then I ate some ice cream. Oh no, man. Why'd you do that? It's never been worse. My fault, I know. It was a treat from my grandma. Mom's aunt. Well, you know, so, okay. That's actually a very common thing that happens to like basically everyone is so grandparents, especially if they don't live with the children, tend to spoil children, not their children but their grandchildren. They tend to spoil their grandchildren because they love their grandchildren just as much as the parents love their children, but because they don't live with them, they don't have to deal with like most of the bad sides, most of their bad sides, and they don't see them very often. They feel 100% of the love, but I don't know, no percent. I guess no, I wouldn't say zero, but like no percent of the responsibility. And when I say responsibility, like responsibility for making sure that they don't end up being spoiled brats. If that makes sense. Right? Like they're not afraid that, oh no, you're gonna end up a spoiled brat. No, because they don't live with them, so they don't see like all the negative sides of them all the time. They only see the grandchild that they hardly ever see. And that they're gonna give them everything that they can right now. Well, try. Thanks for the suggestion. Yeah, it's not even something that only I know. I think it's like very common knowledge, at least for like most adults. I'm sure not everyone knows about it, but it's quite widely known. It's quite a widely known thing, a home remedy. For Indian/Bangladeshi folks, I had some kulfi. What? What is that? I don't think anyone else would understand what kulfi is. So I just said ice cream. Oh, okay. I assume it's some kind of like local ice cream-ish thing. Artist, 1 cup of ice cream. The kulfi thing? How is this gonna work? I know this gets immune to Hydro, but I just didn't want to bother. Okay, that I did not think this through very well. I don't know why it just seems so troubling to me to swap characters, or sorry, to swap teams. Maybe it's just my lazy nature, I don't know. I just gave myself so much more trouble. Alright, kulfi is just a type of milk. Milk, ice cream, I think, not sure though. I mean, it sounds like what here in the Philippines we call sorbetes. Maybe it's just more milk than cream. Is what you're referring to? Well, I mean, technically cream is milk, but you know what I mean. Have Genshin Impact? You play Genshin Impact too, man? Fayz Yoda King. Play Genshin Impact 2. Here in the Philippines, we have something which is like very clearly ice cream, but it's also homemade ice cream, and we call it sorbetes. Now I don't know if people call it ice cream sorbetes or if sorbetes is just the type of ice cream it is, but it's basically homemade ice cream is what it is. And it's not bad, actually. It's not bad. Like, it's I would say it's about as delicious as like any ice cream that you could buy out there, of course depending on like how well it was made, but it's just a different taste. And it comes in quite a few flavors too. Mostly ube, and mango. Yeah, mostly ube and mango. I don't remember the other flavors, because like I hardly ever see anything that's not ube and mango. I used to, like I still love mango myself, but like I don't know what happened. Like for some reason, I've just started to enjoy ube a bit more than I used to. When I was a kid, I used to like, I wouldn't say, yeah, it's not that I didn't like ube. Ube was still yummy, obviously, like any ice cream would be, except for cheese. Oh my god, why does, I don't know, what is Selecta? Is Selecta like a global company? I know that their magnums, Selecta magnums are sold globally, but like why does, in the Philippines, they have this like, the cheese ice cream flavor, and I'm like, why? I know, I hate it. It's like, so it is, the ice cream itself is still fine, but there's actual bits of cheese in it, and it's so jarring to eat. I'm enjoying my ice cream, and it's also really well distributed, like the bits of cheese, like every spoonful you're gonna get like 4 to 6 bits of cheese. So it's really hard to avoid. I'm sure some people enjoy that, but it just doesn't mix well, at least in my opinion. To my taste, it just doesn't go together very well. But for some reason, that flavor has not been phased out, which means people are actually buying it. I'm curious what Kulfi is actually made of. Give me 5 minutes, I'll be back. Yes. Oh, he's actually looking it up. I hate cheese. Whenever I eat it, my tummy always upset. Oh, that means you're probably lactose intolerant. Does the same thing happen when you drink milk? Like, it doesn't happen with all milk. Now I don't know much about milk, but I know that some milk has is more, I don't know, like what's the right way to refer to it as. I don't think saying some milk is has more lactose. I don't think that's the right way to say it, but that's the best way I can put it. Yeah, I don't think saying some milk has more lactose than others is the right way to say it, but that's like the only way I know how to put it. I remember, I don't know what happened to me. Like when I was a kid, used to have no problems. When I was in high school and college even, and even a couple of years after college, I used to hear the words lactose intolerant, and because I had no idea what it was, I used to think it was lactose and tolerant, but but apparently it's not. It's lactose intolerant, which means like your body, or at least your gut, is incapable of tolerating lactose, or at least a certain amount of lactose, depending on how severe it is. And so even a few years after college, used to never be an issue for me. Right, milk, cheese, any dairy product, ice cream, and a couple years more, like maybe let's say 4 or 5 years after college, I came back. I was on vacation. I took a leave. I went on vacation, so I came back to my hometown, visited my family. The next morning, my mom prepares a glass of milk for me. I don't know. I guess she's my mom, right? She just wants to be my mom, right? Like after not seeing me for like a couple of years, so and about half an hour afterwards, no, probably less than that. And then for the rest of the day and half of the next day, I just couldn't help it. Like I kept going to the toilet, and it was awful. It was like basically it was just always like going out, and it wasn't even like nothing was solid is I'm all I'm gonna say. And it also hurt quite a lot. Now I've ever since then I don't think I've had a similar experience since then. Maybe there was just something about that milk. Maybe that milk, like I don't think that milk was bad, because like I didn't smell anything, I didn't taste anything. It just tasted like normal milk. But after that, a couple more times drinking a similar kind of milk, I had a similar problem, but not that bad. And so because that happened, I had to look it up, and then that's when I found out, okay, lactose intolerant is this. And ever since then, I've avoided dairy products for like quite a few years. And then a couple of years after that, like probably another 4 years maybe, I finally decided, okay, let's try drinking an entire glass of milk. Let's see what happens. Anyway, I don't have work later. Like I made sure that it wasn't gonna be like a day that was, I made sure it was gonna be my day off, to where I would have the least amount of trouble with it. And nothing happened. Well, I wouldn't say nothing. Something did happen, but like barely anything. And it was so little that it might have been just something else that I ate and not the milk. And because of that, I've even avoided eating ice cream. I avoided eating like anything that had cheese in it for quite a few years. And then here I am today, 2024, and it seems to be okay. Coffee is just pure milk fat, sugar, and sorry, what? Saffron? I think I've heard that word before. I'm not sure what it is. I'm sorry. After this fight, I'll look it up. Oops. You are not here. Come on. Okay. Oh wow, the blossom thing killed them. Saffron, dry fruits, if you are rich enough. Oh, the dry fruits thing, if you're rich enough. Okay. Wait, so if you're rich enough, what do you mean? Like this is like something that you could just make at home? I mean, it sounds like something that you could just make at home. Alright, can you read my account and help me choose which domain to farm? Oh yeah, sure. You know what? These are the types of accounts that I like to review, as when someone's like someone very clearly needs help. Sure, man. Sure thing. Hang on. I just need to Google what saffron is real quick. Saffron, what is that? A spice derived from the flower of crocus. Oh my god, stop with the scientific names. Crocus sativus, commonly known as the saffron crocus. Okay, so it's a spice from a flower. Oh, so I'm assuming when you said if you're rich enough, I'm assuming you meant both saffron and the dry. Well, I'm sure the dry. Well, the dry fruits are not always the cheapest. They're very often more expensive than regular fruits. So yeah, I guess that both saffron and the dry fruits. Okay, Genshin and all right. Hang on, Fly. Let's look up your account then. Oops, clicked on the wrong thing. It is way more expensive than dry fruits though. Oh wow, okay. Alright, so which domain to farm, huh? Okay, okay. Alright, you know what? I think this is the type of account that I think other people should see. Give me a moment. Let's change the Chrome thing to this. And Chrome. There we go. Alright. So this is Fly's account, so he needs help deciding which domain he should be farming now. Alright, so it looks like you, well, I mean, as far as I can see, it looks like you clearly know what you're doing. You're just probably in a situation where I'm pretty happy with all my characters, but I still want to spend my resin farming artifacts. But you're not sure who to farm for, like, because like all your characters seem to be about as good as each other at this point. Let's see, what is this? Oh, whoa, oh, this is not for Blizzard, okay. Hang on. Okay, Alka, Cryo Resonance, teen. So basically this is 67, which is okay, yeah. 67, Pure EM Kazuha. 8, Widsith. What is this? Gilded and Golden Troop. Okay. Oh. Well, depending on how often you use your Yaimiko, I think Golden Troop is a pretty good choice to farm. Cause like, yeah, Golden Troop. Oh, she's C1 too. Well, I don't know. I don't remember what C1 does, but like that means that tells me that you either got super lucky pulling for her, you got like doubles in a 10 pull, or you like are actually invested into her and you really like her. So if you really do like her and you use her very often, I would recommend, you know, farming for another Golden Troop set just for her. So Zhao is okay on a mixed set, but good ratios. Jianyun is on... Oh, you have attack on Jianyun. Osworn Eye. Wu Tao is on... What is this? Hunter. HP and EM. Okay. Great. I mean, I'm looking at your ratios, and I would like, if you have like, if you could keep like the same or similar, like I don't know, like a similar artifact set of artifact sets, and keep like similar stats, or at least similar total stats, and like be able to shuffle more crit damage to crit rate, like I don't know, lose maybe because you have a lot of crit damage, right? It's not gonna harm you, at least DPS wise, unless if you really like seeing those big numbers, then okay, sure, go right ahead, keep this build. But you could get so much more DPS by losing a bit more crit damage and gaining a bit more crit rate. Like you could lose 40 crit damage and gain 20 crit rate, and I think that would still improve your DPS. Friend pulled double for me? Oh, wow. What a lucky friend. Nice. Pretty nice friends you have, huh? I'm sure I would have lucky friends if I had any. Anyway. Yeah, more crit. Yeah, so I don't know if you are aware of this, Fly, but so I'm sure. Okay, you clearly know what you're doing. You're AR-59. You know how to build your characters, right? I'm sure you've heard like everyone nag on about like, oh, get a 2-to-1 crit ratio. Yes, so that is like the general consensus. But not necessarily at the very beginning, like when you're like really down low on crit stats, but because in your case you have a lot of crit stats already, that does apply very much, right? And so I would recommend, if if you watch a lot of YouTube, I would recommend looking up on YouTube the 10-10 golden ratio. I don't know if that's still, hang on. I don't know if anyone's made a similar, hang on, 10-10 golden ratio. So I don't know if oh wow, it's still the first result that comes up even after 3 years. So I don't know if anyone else has made a similar video or has talked about this before, in like one of their streams or whatever. But this is like the only video I've seen somebody talk about this. Like it's a mathematical thing. I don't know how to do math myself, so I have no way to prove this myself. But this is like, at least according to the way he explained it, and it makes sense in my head, that it is mathematically the most optimal ratio of crit that you should try to achieve. So, but this is mostly according to attack scaling DPSs, because this was 3 years ago. We didn't really have HP scaling damage dealers. We didn't really have any defense scaling damage dealers. So like the okay, hang on. Just gonna mute. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna go through it real quick. I love the fact that Merchise doesn't bother you. Oh, is that because I recommended, because I recommended farming the golden troop domain? No, actually, well, if you have Furina, Marchuse is actually really good. If you have Furina. And well, let's see. Did you have? Okay, oh, you do have. Okay, I'm stupid. I'm an idiot. I looked at your Furina for a moment. So you do have Furina, yeah. Like if you're, I don't know, whoever character you have, like even a Zhao, for example, right? Like even your Zhao could benefit from Furina. Zhao, while Zhao prefers more attack buffs, because like I'm not sure how it works, but like I just remember this from somewhere that Zhao prefers getting more attack buffs. Of course, getting more damage percent buffs also is not gonna reduce your DPS. Of course, it's gonna improve your DPS, but he prefers getting a lot of attack buffs. And but still, if you're running, well, Zhao, I guess in Zhao's case, it's not necessary because Zhao already has like the self drain HP. But hey, if you run Furina with Zhao, that's gonna further increase his DPS as long as you're running him with like a really good team-wide healer. Of course, you have Zhen Yun. You're probably using them together as well. So you could even run your Zhao on 4 Marechaussee. Right? It just means you can get so much more crit damage or attack or whatever other stats, because now you just have a free like 36% crit rate because Zhao himself has self-drain HP. Running with Furina, you have a healer as well, right? So it's a win-win-win. Shogun seems to be underperforming a lot. Is attack stands better on her? Ah, okay. 1357. Like honestly, I'm not very sure like what is like a good threshold, like minimum threshold of attack. And I'm sure this is her attack. Oh yeah, no, sorry, I'm an idiot. I didn't think. Okay, I like you have the catch. For some reason, I was thinking that when you have her on the field, or like not on the field, but like you have her in your team in the overworld, like you're gonna get the attack from the engulfing lightning, and then I forgot it's the catch. Okay, so depending on what team you put her in. If you put her in a team that has a lot of attack buffs, then no, your attack is not going to be lacking. It is certainly going to be a lot better if you had let's say if you had like a what is it, engulfing lightning, because that gives you quite a lot of attack. But of course, I wouldn't recommend it unless if you just if you happen to be able to save, yeah, enough primos that you can go to, like you are ready for the worst luck possible, and a Raiden Shogun banner reruns, then you can, and you're not saving your primos for anybody else later or anybody else before her, then you can, I would say, okay, go for engulfing. In that way, at least, like I don't see your Shangling on here, so I don't know if you're using your Shangling. And that way you can put the catch on your Shangling, right? But if you're not in that situation, I wouldn't recommend pulling for it. But do note that it gives you quite a bit of attack, so it makes it so that it's a little less punishing for not running Raiden Shogun without Bennett. Wait, did I say that right? It punishes you less for not running. Oh, riding. That was the wrong word. I swear I did not mean to. Uh, um, it punishes you less for not running Raiden Shogun with Bennett without Bennett. Sorry, what? I'm an idiot. I'm not my brain. I'm sure you get what I mean. Uh, yeah, because without Bennett and or Kujo Sara, that means you're stuck with what little attack you have, right? Uh, and because you don't have riding control, your emotions are dead. uh, I didn't mean to. I swear. I that is something that we should all, like that should always be like in our private lives. That should never be like public stuff. It just slipped out. But yeah, right. Like with, what little attack you have. Oh my! Yeah, I just realized like you have an Electro Goblet. Okay. How good is this Electro Goblet? That's actually really good. That's gonna be pretty hard to replace. Um, okay, if you have an attack goblet that is like a similar value than to this, I would recommend that over this. Mostly because you don't have engulfing, so she's a. I wouldn't say Raiden Shogun is lacking on the attack, and especially if you're running her with Bennett and or Kujasara, right? Because obviously you get your attack buffs from them, but getting more attack from the goblet. Okay, hang on. I don't know where to start here. So the way Raiden Shogun works is you get electro damage from having a lot of ER, right? Like any, I forgot the ratio, but it was like a certain amount of your ER above 100%. I think is what I remember. It was a certain amount, right? So because we're already building Raiden Shogun with a lot of ER, you're gonna get quite a bit of electro damage already. Right? It's not. I don't think it's gonna be more than a goblet. Or six. No, it is actually more than a goblet. Jeez. All right, it's more than a goblet. So right, you're not gonna. You're gonna gain a little bit depending on your situation, right? You're gonna, depending on your situation, you're gonna gain a bit more DPS. Actually, if only I knew how to math this out, I would do that right now. And then I could give you like a 100% trust me bro guaranteed answer. But when on my third and main, yes, on my third and main accounts, I have 3 accounts by the way. My third and main accounts got Engulfing Lightning later than my second account. And on those 2 accounts, I stayed on an attack goblet until I got Engulfing Lightning. And that's what I'm saying is Engulfing Lightning gives you quite a bit of attack, not a lot, and it's not as much as an attack goblet or an attack sands, but it helps, right? It makes it so that running an attack sands is a lot less value than running a damage percent sands, or sorry, goblet. But because you're on the catch, attack sands is a lot more valuable. Refreshing. Okay, hang on. Right. I remember you asked about an attack sense, right? So what is this? Wow. I don't think. I mean, like if you have, if you have a Sands that is as valuable as this. Well, maybe not as valuable as this. Like, if you don't mind losing a bit of crit damage, because like this is a lot of stats. If you have like an attack Sands that has like, let's see, 20 ER or somewhere around there. Let me see. How much would you be losing? 30. You'd be losing like around 30. 240. I think that's still okay. Is 240 still doable? No, I think it's a little. I think it's a little under. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen people run Shogun with less than 250. I think 240 is still doable, but like not ideal. I think 250 is sort of the minimum that most people would go to. I just hit my Raiden with 60 crit. 60 crit rate. Alright, I'm refreshing and... Oh wow, you have a lot more crit now. Wow, you just rolled this? My dude. My dude has kissed the hand of R and Jesus. Oh my god. Literally just like on stream, hey, can you review my account? And then like the streamer is like yapping, yap, yap, da, 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 da. And then like just in the background rolling like a basically like almost perfect artifact. I think this started with 3 stats. I think. I'm an idiot. I don't know how to count. But yeah, I think they started with three stats because you have a lot of high rolls. Like this is like almost... Yeah, one of these is a max roll. The other one is like pretty high roll. This is like a lot of mid rolls. No, not mid rolls, but like slightly higher than mid rolls. And like only lost 1 roll to flat HP. Oh my god. I'll be back after I'm done crying. Right, like the guy literally just like in the background, like my voice was like fading into like what is that called when a voice starts sounding muffled? Like, okay, my voice is clear, and then slowly starts to because like he's like zoning in, like, you know, he's like focusing, channeling all the luck from kissing the hand of R and Jesus, like to just create this artifact on the fly. And like, oh hey, can you refresh? I just rolled an attack goblet and like what is this? Feather and flower. Wow, those are juicy, man. These are perfect artifacts basically. Like obviously could be better with higher rolls, but like look at this, right? Okay, this is like pretty low rolls on the ER, but like no stats wasted at all, right? Like EM maybe useful in some teams, right? But obviously, you know, without, in some teams completely useless. What is the... Okay, obviously completely useless. This one too, but still, man, he does perform really badly, and I want to know why. Now, okay, so going back to the golden ratio that I was talking about. Okay, wow, that is a lot more attack, actually. Right? Like, okay, so... Oh, man, I should have taken a screenshot, or should have opened, like, in a different window. But it was something like 1300 earlier, right? So, I would recommend, like, testing this out in Abyss. Which one nets you bigger damage? Like, yeah, because you have a lot less... You have a lot less crit damage now. Which means when you... Okay, that's going to be a little harder to test, actually. Because you have a lot less crit damage now, and more crit rate, your DPS... Like, your DPS is what you're going to need to be paying attention to, and not the big hit from your burst. Because you gained attack, you lost crit damage. You're not going to... I don't know, like, I think you won't be able to rely... Like, however much your big hit from her burst hits now is not a reliable way to tell, oh, this is doing more damage, because you lost crit damage, but you gained attack. But you'll on the other hand, you also gain crit rate. So like DPS wise, this is gonna increase your DPS wise. Less damage bonus as well. Yeah, like, you know, You also have a little less crit rate, but like it's, you know, it's still fine, right? It's perfectly fine. Um, but yeah, like generally though, generally an attack goblet is a lot more valuable on Raiden Shogun if you don't have engulfing than if you do have engulfing, and that's like something to keep in mind. It makes you, it should make you think that, oh, because I don't have a lot of attack without engulfing, so the attack goblet gives me so much more attack than it would if I had engulfing. So I don't know. I would recommend like testing these out, like not just like waiting, like, you know, retrying and then trying to see which one does more damage, but like just use this for a while and then like try to see how it feels. Because I remember doing that a lot. When I remember doing that a lot when I finally got a good Electro Goblet and good Attack Goblet on my third account. Because my third account was the last account to get engulfing. So I was like constantly not sure between the two. Although I think if you're running a Raiden Shogun Hyper Carry with both Bennett and C6 Kujosara, I think the Electro Damage would be more valuable. Electro Damage Goblet would be more valuable. But if you're running only Kujosara or only Bennett, then I think the Attack Goblet will be more valuable. I think you are also feeling that your Raiden Shogun isn't doing as well as, like, you know, you feel like she's underperforming is because your Zhao is overperforming, right? Like, you don't have ideal weapons, you don't have deathmatch, you don't have Jade Spear, you don't have Homa or something, right? But this is still really good. You have really good ratios. Yeah, you have a good set. You even have an Animo Damage Goblet, and you have Zhan Yun, and you have Furina. So now your Zhao is overperforming. And I think it's not just your Raiden Shogun. Maybe she is, you know, maybe she actually is underperforming, but also your Zhao now overperforming is making you feel even more so that she's underperforming. Right? Like, perspective. It's changing your perspective of her. What if I run crit damage hat and 51 182, same ER, same damage bonus, 52. Oh, sorry, 51 63. That's kind of okay. Yeah, that's kind of okay. All right. Anyway, before I continue, like, because your crit ratios drastically changed so much, let's take a look at this first, just so we're on like the same like logic, right? Basically, okay, here it is, right? So, this is for like attack scaling DPSs. This is a little harder to scale with like together with your buffs. This is supposed to be like at base, no buffs at all. But so we'll just take a look at the crit ratios, right? So 70% crit rate, 141.4 crit damage, and this is like the ideal ratio that you should have. Now, let's say for example you're building a character. You're building a character. It's a new character. You don't have a lot of artifacts just yet, right? So your first goals should be to reach anywhere close to these, right? Like, I don't know, like 60 130, something like that, right? Like, and once you reach 150 crit damage, but your crit rate is still 55, then that should, like, this golden ratio, I'm doing air quotes, should tell you, oh no, I should focus on my crit rate now, right? And once you get to 70%, then it's fair game. Then you keep the mindset of the 1 to 2 crit ratio that everyone always says, is because, let's say, okay, I remember you had like a character that had a lot of it was Yaimiko, I think. Yes, right? On your Yaimiko, you have 192 crit damage, which is really good. you have 68% crit rate, which is still pretty good, right? It's only a little bit less than like the ideal crit rate, but because you have so much more crit damage than your crit rate, you're like a lot further from that 1 to 2 crit ratio, even though you're like basically there at the optimal, sorry, the ideal crit rate that, you know, this mathematical equation gives us. It would still be more optimal if you somehow, if you know, if able to, right, sacrifice a little crit damage for more crit rate and get it a little closer to that 1 to 2 ratio. Right, but I'm just using this as an example. And going back to here, your crit damage earlier was like quite a bit above the minimum ideal crit damage, and your crit rate was only a little. I don't remember what it was. What was it before? 63, I think. Right. I think it was 63 earlier. It was only quite a bit. Quite a bit. No, sorry, those are wrong words. Only a little bit lower than the minimum ideal crit rate. But because you were also missing other stats like attack, for example, I wouldn't say missing, but maybe in the state of could use a bit more. Yeah, and it's a little hard. It's like how is the word I'm looking for? Basically, just find a good balance of your stats, and if you know how to calc yourself, hey, that would be great. I'm so sorry. I wish I knew how to do it. You could just calc it, and then you would get the exact answer you're looking for. And that's why earlier I recommended just keep running this, or like the different sets that you have currently available for you that give you a different balance of your stats, and then like run it for a while and then see which one you are most comfortable with. Crit damage had 51, 182. Yeah, so like going back to that question, 51 crit rate, that would be like 63. Right, so now we going back to like what I just said, which is like you have quite a bit, you're quite a bit over the minimum. Now again, you know, I'm saying minimum, right? So you can, like, going more does not mean bad. Going more is good, but it's just not as good as getting from 50 from like baseline to like the minimum ideal. So now you're slightly below the minimum ideal crit damage, and you're quite a bit above the minimum ideal crit rate, but you also dealt with the lack of attack issue, right? So now it's like it's not even a yes or no, it's like left, right, and center. Especially in your case, because at this point you have 3 different sets that you could potentially use. $71, $133 with the catch. How'd you get Rose? I know, like he literally did it on stream, like right now. I opened his account. He had a different goblet. Was really good also. He swapped that. He said, "Oh, could you refresh?" I rolled an attack goblet, and he literally just rolled in 5 minutes. Just immediately got this thing. How much DPS does Xingqiu lose if you don't run ESF? Oh, dude, that sounds like a theory crafter question. I'm sorry, man. Like, yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell you. That definitely sounds like a theory crafter issue. Anyway, again, TLDR. Your Electro Goblet made it so that you were lacking quite a bit on attack. Your ratios were good. Your crit rate was only a little bit under the minimum ideal. Your crit damage was some amount over the minimum ideal. Your crit ratio, that crit ratio was, I think, perfectly fine. It's just that you were missing attack. Now you're a little bit under the minimum ideal, not a lot, just a little bit. Minimum ideal crit damage. You're quite a bit over the minimum ideal crit rate, but again, more stats is never bad. But you also solved your attack problem, right? So it's like a pick your poison kind of situation. So that's sort of my TLDR. Is I would recommend you run your different setups for some time. Maybe go through Abyss a couple of times and see which one feels the best, feels the most comfortable, feels the most balanced to you. As for which domain I would recommend you farm for right now, I don't know. I get the feeling that while you have really good stats, I get the feeling that you need a few more. You need a few more. What's the word I'm looking for? A few more emblem pieces, right? Not better ones, just ones that have like a different distribution of stats. You know, just so you can get that sweet spot, like like a good balance of your stats. So if you have like, I don't know, like if you have a Yoimiya, if you have characters that would care to have Shimenawa pieces, sure, I would recommend continue farming the emblem domain. If you use your Yaimiko very often, I would recommend farming the Golden Troop domain, because you also have Farina and you. Jeez, what are these stats, man? Okay, well, a little yikes on the ER though. Okay, all right, I take that back. So really good crit ratios, but a little yikes on ER. 167 is not bad. It's just that in teams where you're starved for energy, for hydro energy in the team, it's not ideal. Especially like solo hydro. Unless if you have like multiple fab weapons in the team. Oh, your Shangling is on Dragon's Bane. Oh, yikes. 171. Oh, okay. So it looks like you're. Oh. Oh, C4. Okay. Oh, you are using your. Okay. Wow. This changes everything. um. Okay. Well, it sounds like you are. It sounds like you are lacking on emblem pieces, man. Like it sounds like maybe not locking, but like it sounds like you're hungry. There you go. It sounds like you're hungry for emblem pieces, because like you're asking me if, because I assume you took something from Xingqiu, like you while you're swapping your emblem pieces around, and now your Xingqiu probably doesn't have 4 emblem anymore. Yeah, Xiangling is pretty hard to build because her ascension stats EM. So her ascension stat is really helping you with the getting a bigger number situation, but it's not helping you be able to do that big number because it's not an ER situation. You know, it's not easy. Yeah, she is pretty hard to build. She needs a lot of stats. I don't know, like I feel like either Golden Troop domain if you want to make your Yaimiko better, but I feel like you are needing a lot more emblem pieces, because like it sounds like you're lacking emblem for your Xingqiu, your Xiangling needs. I'm sure you have, you know, better artifacts. You probably just like swapped around some pieces, but right, like and I feel like you could really use. Do you have Fab Sword? Or sorry, Fab Lance? If you have Fab Lance, I would highly recommend that. You'd be losing the EM, yes, but with Fab Lance, you might even be able to run an EM Sans, as long as it has like a lot of ER, an EM or attack Sans, depending on like how many. You know, ideally, I would recommend you reach at least 200 ER on your Shangling, whether or not you're running Fab Lance or Fab Lance and ER, you know, like ideally, right? Because you're Shangling snapshots anyway, so like having low attack on her in the first place is not that much of an issue, because she's like, it's Shangling. Also, your burst isn't leveled. It's not completely leveled. I assume you just recently got C4. So you're just oh, she's level 72. So yeah, I assume you just started building her. Okay, Fab Lance, then I can give Hu Tao Dragon's Bane. Oh, if you have Hu Tao, yeah, definitely. And oh, it's a high refinement too. That's really good. Yeah, yeah. Like Fab Lance, dude. Fab Lance immediately solves this. It doesn't solve your crit issues, but but hey, it solves your ER issues instantly. Yeah, yeah. That's wow. The curse of emblem domain. Yeah, I think you might benefit quite a lot from continuing to farm the emblem domain, man. Your Zhen Yun. Okay, two. Okay, so yeah, she's giving a lot of attack. Do you have a 4 noblesse user on your Zhao team? Who's your 4 noblesse user? Bennett? I assume that's Bennett. It's been ages since the last time I used Shangling. Wow, that is a blessing that I think many of us could use. Is being able to. there's this meme in the community going around lately. It all goes back to Shangling. Yeah, being able to not have to go back to Shangling. That is a blessing that all of us could use, man. Tarzan. Ah, okay. Alright, so you already have your noblesse user then. Okay, that's fine. I don't know how much of a difference it would make using the mixed 2 attack sets versus the... What is that set called? Hang on. I don't know what the set is called. Songs of Days Past, yeah. Honestly, I remember studying this. I remember understanding how it works, and then like forgetting immediately because I just couldn't, just didn't want to farm the domain. The domain's yikes. Yeah, the domain's not a friendly domain to farm because like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying I recommend farming this domain. I'm just saying I'm not sure how much of a difference it would make between the 2-piece attack and Songs of Days Past. Hey, what's up, Unrevealed? How you doing, man? Hey, you have any thoughts on Arlecchino? Any thoughts on Arlecchino, man? Yeah, you know? Okay, you know what? I changed my mind about the artifact domain. Yeah, I think you would benefit greatly from continuing to farm Emblem, man. I don't know how you feel about how long you've been stuck in the Emblem domain. If you've been wanting to move out of the emblem domain, then I'm sorry. I still recommend the emblem domain for now. Thanks for the very thorough feedback, man. Sure, my pleasure, man. I feel bad that I couldn't, like, because I don't know how to do math. I wish I could do, like, calcs and stuff, because, like, I would have been able to give you a much more, like 100% trust me, bro, guaranteed answer. I'm sure it's not that hard to learn how to do the Genshin calcs. Like, it's just that when doing calcs in Genshin, there's so many things to take into account. There's like especially when you're calcing for energy recharge. There's so many things to take into account. How many fab weapons are in the team, right? How many particles are going to be caught? How many particles are going to be not caught? Damage, I'm sure, is not. It's also not just like calc once and then get 100% guaranteed answer. If you want to calc for like the DPS instead, and not just like how much each hit is gonna do. But sure, my pleasure, man. Like, I don't know, I really like going into these sorry, what's the word I'm looking for? Delving deep. I think, yeah, I think that's right. Delving deep into these situations, because like I've been there lots of times where I know what I'm doing, but I'm not sure which one. I get to the point where it's my question is not yes or no, my question is left or right. And like because I don't know how to do the math myself, I generally can't get the most optimal answer. Yeah, but also again, like I think you should also take into account what I said earlier about you might be feeling like you're feeling that your Raiden Shogun is underperforming, might be being getting exaggerated more than it actually is, because your Zhao is overperforming. Because you seem to have like a lot of the right pieces for your Zhao, like having Farina and having Xianyun, right? Like that's basically the best. Those are basically the best supports that you can give Zhao. You know, Zhao Hypercare. And I hate this boss. Thank you. I can finally hit you. Oops, well, my shield's broken. And my shield cooldown's not down. There. Just avoid the damage. Thankfully, Zhongli's burst has such a long animation. Gives you a lot of iframes. Maybe because C0, because my Zhao hits half the damage other people's Zhao does. Maybe. I'm sorry, I just got distracted. Why does he? This is Japanese audio, right? Like, it sounds so weird. It sounds so comedic. But it's like a serious moment, but it sounds comedic. It just doesn't feel right. It sounds like a comedic yell. Like, you know, like Goofy. Like Goofy when he's like falling or being thrown across the world. Oops. Pyro. Oh my god, why am I so far away from all? Oh, I missed! Okay, got one. I know, right? It just, I don't know, it just didn't. I don't remember what the English stream, the English audio stream sounded like, but I'm pretty sure it didn't sound like that. RJ, how are you doing? Hey, what's up, Shadow Wolf? I'm good, man. The weather could be better. It hasn't rained in quite a while, so you know, I'm healthy. I'm not dying. Family's healthy too. I still am somehow able to pay bills, so not the worst, but could be better. Is weather. Sorry, I'm not. I'm a little confused, Fly, with what you said. Maybe because your Zhao hits half the damage other people's Zhao does. I don't know. Like, I imagine it's probably gonna. Your Zhao is probably gonna do pretty decently. It's not gonna do as well, like super great. Sorry. Have you tried vape, Zhao? Is your Bennett C6? If you're Bennett C6, have you tried vape, Zhao? I don't think it's that much more DPS than normal Animo, Zhao. But boy, are the numbers funny. The numbers are actually funny to watch. Oh my god. I just came here to look at what I think I should use my resin on, you know, with the ley line thing. I didn't realize I reached this many already. Wow. Did not expect that. Give me some. I mean, I wish I could, man. Genshin just did not what is it? Add a trading feature into the game. I assume it's probably for like security reasons. If Genshin on day one had a trading system, I'm very certain that the amount of account hacking would be incredible, right? Especially because like some accounts are worth tens or like even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Most efficient emblem team is Kazuo Nationalist. Uh, you know, I'm sure. I don't know. Like that is the team that I've always run the emblem domain in, the emblem domain with. But by the time that I stopped running, stopped running the emblem domain, it was only about halfway through the Sumeru arc, about 3.6, I think. Yeah, 3.5, 3.6 is when I stopped farming the emblem domain. And the characters that we had, like since then, we've gotten so many more characters and so many more new team archetypes that I don't know if the newer ones would run the emblem domain faster than Kazuo National. But for me, I used to run that team all the time there. And yeah, it was the fastest team that I had access to. If I'm gonna be in the emblem domain for the rest of my life, I want to farm it in 20 seconds. It's exactly how I felt. Did you try to play AFK Journey? It's like Genshin. No, it's an AFK game. It's gonna be. I remember hearing from a couple of people that apparently the AFK part of it, I don't need to be like I don't actually need my computer to be on, and I don't need the app open for the AFK part to auto run or whatever it is. Um but like I also hear from quite a lot of people that it's quite grindy. Obviously, I haven't played it myself, so I can't say how true those are. But well, I don't know. Like I'm scared to try it because if I try it, if I get started on it, whether I like the game or not, I might not stop. Like I don't know what this thing is, but like I just have this thing where um I can't. Like when I've spent a certain amount of time, certain amount of effort building an account or playing a certain game, getting deep into the lore or whatever, into the gameplay, then I will feel bad just leaving all that behind. So that's what I'm afraid of. So yeah, and this is why like I've played video games for like since what the mid 2000s, basically 25 years at this point, like 20 years at this point. But I've played. You guys have probably played more video games than me. I've played like I don't know, like I wouldn't say a handful of video games, but certainly I don't know, not a lot for somebody who's been playing video games for as long as I have. because of this thing that I just mentioned. Oh, free. Huh. Free freeze, huh? Thank you, Rain. Did he just say anhang sayo? Or whatever it is, like the Korean word? Oops, this is Sayu. That's not Zhenyun. Talking about grindy games while you playing Gent. Well, I mean, is Genshin really grindy? Like, we log in every day. We log in for like 5 minutes. We claim a few event rewards. We do like 1 daily commission. And then we claim the encounter points. Yeah, we claim encounter points. We go to Catherine and then we're done. We maybe condense some resin, run a few times in a domain, run a few domain runs, do a few domain runs, and then like what, 5-10 minutes and then log out. Whether you want to play or not, you're forced to log out because there's literally nothing to do anymore. Right? So like yes, if you start Genshin today, be ready for the grind. But if you're an older player and you're like if you're caught up, that's what I'm saying. If you're caught up with the content, then no, it's not a grindy game at all. Especially if you do things optimally. But like obviously if you enjoy the world exploration, doing the world exploration yourself, obviously it's gonna be grindy. But if you do it, well, when I said optimally, I mean like, you know, if you want 100% your maps, right? Like you just follow somebody's video to do it, right? You know, that's what I'm talking about. Optimal / lazy way. Oh, blood debt. FK Journey is pay to win. It is dominated by mostly whales. Pay to win. So, when you say pay to win, I'm assuming there's some form of PvP where you win over other people. Am I right? Is that right? Is there some form of PvP? Like not like trying to kill each other, but like some form of competitive play. Right? Like running, you know, is there like a leaderboard for like how fast you can clear a domain or something like that? So it does my account look like it can 36 star because I can't do it. I'm wondering if it's my build or just skill issue. What are the, because okay, I could see. Oh, you okay? Yeah, I could see at least like, I don't know, two really good teams that you could make on your account, because obviously there's only like 8 characters that you could put in the display thing. What is it called? Profile. Display on your profile. Hang on, I'm just switching accounts. But I don't know what other teams you could make, because in the last long while, they've done a pretty good job of giving us a wide variety of Abyss iterations and like the types of new enemies that we've been getting, while not immune to certain team archetypes. But it's hard to explain. Like some enemies just are easier to deal with using certain team archetypes, using certain team setups, right? And some of them are easier. Some of the newer enemies are easier to deal with newer characters, and not because the newer characters are strictly stronger than the old ones, but mostly because of, like, let's say the way they move, right? How let's say like with the Numa and the Uja alignment, right? Like they just, like without even paying attention to it, you might without thinking about it, you might have disabled them for a moment, right? So and with the older types of the team archetypes, you don't have that, right? You don't have that, like, hidden, not really hidden mechanic that just happens without you even noticing it, but it's actually making your life a lot more comfy. So I think DPS wise, your account, like, depending on like what other teams you can come up with, I think DPS wise your account should be able to 36 star. Now that being said, there are certain limitations, because like there are quite, like, let's say, okay, you clearly have Zhao built, and your Zhao is clearly one of your main most important DPSs on your account. Given that you've pulled for Genuine, you have Farina, like they all go together. So you've clearly invested into your Zhao. Now Zhao, however strong he is with all those supports, is still not very good in certain content, right? Like for example, AoE content, but the enemies are too widely spread, right? Or they come in multiple waves, right? Where you can't AoE all of them at the same time, right? So he's not ideal. He's not ideal in that situation. Even if you do have enough DPS, you're still gonna need to play really well, or yeah, you're still gonna need to play really well and like really remember your like your different rotations and like where to move immediately after this, after that, etc. Basically, you're gonna have to plan out your whole each chamber. You're gonna have to plan out how to distribute, like when you burst, where you burst, etc. Right? Because Zhao might not be optimal for all kinds of combat content, while while you have like a lot of your supports for Zhao, which makes your Zhao a lot stronger. Again, the gameplay limitation, right? Like because some damage dealers and some team archetypes just aren't very effective at dealing with certain types of content, depending on like the abyss layout. There is a leaderboard. Oh well, that sucks. Because there's a leaderboard, a lot of the content creators are gonna make it very clearly visible online, like where they are at, and I'm sure they're gonna be like there's probably gonna be like an enviosity, right? Like a free to play king, a free to play god somewhere in AFK Arena, right? Where they're gonna be, yeah, they're gonna be like a completely free to play, but then like because they do that as their job, they can grind a lot more than you can, because they can just stream and make money playing the video game, right? So like their account is going to be a lot stronger than the typical free to play that can't grind as much as they can, right? So and then like they show like these leaderboard scores and timers and whatever, and it's gonna give you this, like the average player, this slightly skewed I guess idea of what average is, and it's gonna make you feel anxious that you're not reaching said level that these free to play content creators might be reaching, or some slightly low spender content creators, right? Or even these, slightly low spender content creators. It's gonna make you feel like, oh, he hasn't, he's only spent like what, $100 a month, yeah, right? Like $50 a month, $5 a month. So he can't be that much more powerful than him. He can't. His account can't be that much more stronger than mine, right? My account's probably like just 70% of this guy's account. And then like once you start doing combat, you realize, wow, I do 20% his damage. And then you're gonna feel bad about it. Yeah, so the leaderboard system, I'm actually quite happy that Genshin hasn't implemented any kind of leaderboard system or any, like they just, it's very obvious that Hoyo has avoided any form of direct competitive mechanic in Genshin. And I'm sure that's probably one of the reasons why they want their well, okay, I remember this statement that they gave a few years back where they said what was it, like they're not gonna add any more content to Abyss. It was something like that, right? They're not gonna add any more content to Abyss, or they're not gonna add any more Abyss floors. I don't remember, but it was their reasoning was like, it was something like that, right? Like they weren't gonna add a certain more of a certain kind of content because they had their reasoning, quote, we don't want to give our players any more anxiety. And I thought that was funny. Oh no, wait, my oh, I forgot. No wonder why my hyperlooms were hitting so were so cute. And because their game is gacha, there's already gacha plus the fact that they're not the most generous. Genshin isn't exactly the most generous when it comes to their premium currency, especially compared to most other gacha games, right? Like they've clearly mapped out the exact amount of primo gems that they could give out for free, where it's just barely not enough. Just barely not enough for you to be able to keep up with those who spend. Right? Like if we, and maybe not just barely, but just barely the point where it makes you think, where it makes you feel like, oh, I can just spend like a couple more dollars and then I'll be golden. Right? Like if we Google right now, on average, how many primo gems? I just said my cookie doesn't have EM, and here I am. At least according to Google, I think like the average amount of primo gems that is available in Genshin is about 5,000. But I'm pretty sure that number's a little bit skewed. Like that would be, I think that would be on average if there's like new maps to explore, new like Archon quests, big world quests, etc. And I don't think that's just events and daily commissions. I think just events and daily commissions would probably be somewhere around like 3,000, 3,500, somewhere around there. So yeah, 3,000 primos, 3,500 primos. That is like, what is that? Just a little bit over 2 10 pulls in a month, right? And like there's a chance you might get lucky in those 20 pulls, and if you do get lucky, next month you're gonna get your next 3,500 to 5,000 primos, and then you're gonna think, oh well, I had this amount of primos last month and I got the character I wanted, and I even got their weapon, you know. But then like you didn't calculate that you got it super early, and then like next month you know the next banner, the new character comes out, and you're thinking, oh, I didn't get them. Oh, I have no more primos. Oh no, I can't wish for the next character that comes anymore. And now you're super anxious. Watch me do Abyss with level 70. Oh man, yikes. Well, best of luck, man. Best of luck. I don't remember how to use this team. How did I use this team again? Okay, Force of Noah. Wait, how do I use this team? I don't remember. Okay, well, we'll try our best. Pyro, swirl, you. I think that's right. If only I could maintain Hydro on you. Come on, Furrdyssey. Hey, there we go. Nice. They'll know how to use this team, I guess. Oh, okay. Speaking of which, I think I kind of get the gist of what most people's opinions here on Arlecchino are. What about you, Fly? What are your opinions on Arlecchino? A lot of people are comparing her to Hu Tao. Now, the only difference between her and Hu Tao, like the biggest difference, I think, is, well, obviously, like the different gameplay and stuff, but like the fact that you can't really reliably run her in a vape team. Too much of a copy of Hu Tao, not gonna lie. You can very clearly see how they came across the problem while trying something new. Like the Bond of Life. Just added the no heal passive. I mean, I think they probably just took inspiration. I don't know. I mean, it was already like an existing system, like what, like a character, right? A character already existed that had like this idea, so they might as well use it again and just make it more fancy with much longer talent descriptions, I guess. Well, I'm sure one reason that they went that direction was also so the fact that Furrdyssey has made Marchose really valuable, and Furrydssey's buff is just really valuable, like being able to like augment drain and heal your HP a lot just to easily get Furina's buff. I think one of their biggest goals was that to make it so that she doesn't work with Furina. Like, I don't know. At least that's from my understanding. At least that's how I see it from what limited information we got from the special program. Because not being able to heal means you're going to be very vulnerable without a shielder, right? And because you have a blood debt directive, you're gonna be, let's say Furina is gonna drain your HP, but because you can't heal, you also can't increase your HP, right? So you're less likely gonna be able to like max out her buff, right? I think that was like one of the goals. Like okay, how do we design a character like this? We know that Hu Tao already works. We know that Arlecchino is gonna be Pyro. We know that she's gonna be a polearm user too. Another polearm user. So let's just design around this, but how do we make it so that people don't just run her with Furina? Right? And there's a couple of reasons. Obviously, one of them is, I don't know, probably money. Like, yeah, right? Like the fact that you couldn't just use the character that you already spent your money on to make your next character that you're gonna spend your money on stronger. Is they're releasing a character that doesn't work with this old character very well, but will work pretty well with a character down the line that you're gonna, when that character gets released, gonna make you think, oh, I have Arlecchino. That new character coming sounds like she's gonna work pretty well with my Arlecchino, right? So I'm sure that's one of the decision makers, right? Like one of the big factors. Another one is just variety, right? Like they don't want people to be running the same character all the time, right? Like I think like the fact that people could just run national team for the first 2 or 3 years of the game and not need any other team ever. I think that was like I wouldn't say a mistake, but like it was a shortcoming on their part because they made a game that you could clear everything with using the first team that you built. The first team that you built 3 years ago. Hyper Bloom, hi. Hey, what's up, Abby? Good to see you, man. You have any thoughts on Arlecchino? Just added. I think for players who are looking for an upgrade over Hu Tao, I don't think Arlecchino is the answer. Unless if you just prefer her playstyle, right? Like, or if you just for some reason really dread the animation canceling on Hu Tao, like if you just want a breath of fresh air where you don't have to dash cancel or jump cancel anymore, right? But you also want a similar kind of gameplay experience, then I think Arlecchino is going to be the answer. But I don't think she's going to be an upgrade in any way over Hu Tao. I think she's going to be a downgrade to some degree, right? Because she's going to be a little harder to play not being healable. Technically, wow, now that I think about it, yeah, her burst heals her. Same where Hu Tao's burst also heals her. Also, funny that you mentioned Hyper Bloom, because like, I wonder how they're gonna quote unquote phase out Hyper Bloom. Sooner or later, they're gonna do that. It's yeah, sooner or later they're gonna phase out Hyper Bloom, just like they phased out. Sorry, I had a team archetype in mind, and then like just for some reason, just as I was about to say it, it just whoop stepped out of my brain. RJ, love the new split screen update in my phone. I can literally use YouTube in floating screen. No, split screen. Sorry, split screen or I believe that's picture in picture. Yeah. Sorry, I'm confused. Is it picture in picture or split screen? Just make enemy resistant to Dendro. I mean, that's like a very simple answer, but Hoyo just doesn't operate that way, man. Like look at how they made hang on. Who was it? Oh no, I can't think of it. It's not coming to mind. Cryo. Right. Cryo. Look at how they made Cryo obsolete. At least for now. Right? Like the Abyss is like where we typically get to use the skills that we invest so much into. And Abyss just has been very cringe to play with cryo teams for like a very long time now. Right, and it's very indirect. It's very much indirect. Like you can hardly, like if you ask anyone, oh, when did cryo stop being relevant? Like I doubt anyone would be able to give you a specific version update. No. And Bennett got hit. My skill was on cooldown. Who else have they made irrelevant? For some reason, I can feel like there are quite a few, but when I open my mouth to say something, nothing comes out. Oh, okay. Venti, right? That's a very obvious example. Venti was very gradually phased out by continuously releasing enemies that couldn't be crowd controlled by him. Right? And like some of the older 5 stars were Kazuha. Yes, Kazuha too, yeah. Kazuha was like a very like Kazuha was like the nail in the coffin. They made Capilia resistant to Anemo and Cryo. Yeah. Well, I think so. The resistant, like immune enemies, I don't think are a way to. I don't think they're a way to what's the word I'm looking for, nerf. There you go. I don't think they're a way to indirectly nerf certain characters or certain team archetypes. I think they're just a way to force people to diversify their team building.
おさわり禁止。手をつなぎましょう。
Because I'm sure they noticed that everyone's been building like the same teams, like been using like national since forever and haven't built like some players probably just pulled for and built new characters but hardly ever use them in Abyss because they have teams like national, they have like whoever like Hyper Bloom. And then doing things like that, making new enemies immune to certain certain elements, or immune to whatever mechanics, I think it's just a way for them to sort of force diversity. Because the players aren't diversifying on their own. Hoyo has to get creative and like force diversity. Otherwise their game will just become stale. Which, you know, to some degree it did, actually.
長い先。まだだ。私はまだ。燃料切れだ。やっと静かに。
Man, I would love to be able to sit in one of these meetings at Hoyo HQ just to listen to their decision making when it comes to stuff like this, because like I want to see how much I'm getting right and how much I'm getting wrong. I'm sure I'm getting a lot of it wrong, but I'm also pretty sure I'm getting at least one or two of them right.
全部丸見えね。岩山八九。燃えろ。
Being not generous. Hey, that's a decision, right? I sort of don't relate to people complaining about Hoyo. I mean, like, I can understand why they complain, but when I generally try to. They're a business, right? And like, when it comes to like how consuming a product or a service that a business is offering, and if I paid for it and it's terrible, then I'm gonna complain, like easily, right? But of course, I'm playing this game for free. It's free to play. Hey, what's up, Mighty? How you doing, man? Right. So I'm not there. You know, I'm not. It's not me enjoying this service. It's not costing me anything except my time, which I've openly chosen to spend here. And so that's why when I have a complaint, because it's free, I have to make sure that it's a complaint that is not just like breathing out hot air. Right? I have to make sure that it's a complaint that is reasonable, Because what if I say, oh, Hoyo should give me more Primo Gems to keep their players happy? Right, but if they give out so many Primo Gems, their whales and dolphins and all their spenders are like, some of their low spenders might not need to spend anymore, and their whales are not going to need to spend as much. That is a lot of money lost. And if they can't break even on Genshin, that means they're going to have to shut down the servers, and I'm not going to have this game to play anymore. Right? Or even if they do break even, but if they just barely break even, they're going to have to skimp out on a lot of quality, and I'm not going to get the quality game that I want. I'm going to have like this janky, bug-filled game because they barely break even. So, not being generous, earlier I mentioned this. The amount of Free Gems that they give out, I'm sure has been carefully calculated. I'm sure like they probably had like a statistics major math dude do the calcs on it. How many Primo Gems should we give out per month? And how much should each wish cost? And what should pity be like? How much should pity be? How many wishes should pity be? And if this is the amount of pity, and this is the cost for wishes, and this is the amount of total free currency that we give out every month, how many players are likely to spend money, or to spend more money, or to spend even more money? And they try out like different ratios of how much they give and how much they don't give and how much they get back. Right? It's like it's a math equation to them. And it's fine. Like that, they need to break even to keep this game free to play. Especially since I used to play a gacha that doesn't have a... Oh my god. That's not even gacha. That's literally gambling. Right? Because like, imagine you go to Vegas and then there's a pity system at the casinos. Oh my god. Imagine like you're not gambling anymore. You're just what? You're just purchasing something, right? Because like to some degree, gacha games have a very solid defense for not being labeled as gambling, because there's a pity system. The pity system is their very solid defense. The pity system guarantees that somebody, after spending a certain amount of money, whether they get lucky or super unlucky, is guaranteed to get what they wanted in the first place. Right? So at that point, it's a purchase. They trapped some Asian kid. Oh my. To do all the math. I used to play a gacha game for 6 years that has 500 pity. Jeez. The pity doesn't have... doesn't save for other banners. Oh my god, so every banner was a new pity, huh? I played a gacha game where there were over 1,000 characters. Banners don't exist. You just get whatever, and pity doesn't exist. So it's like everything is like a standard banner, something like that. Yeah, like skip a patch, you have enough for the next patch for a 5-star. Yeah, right? Like it's yeah, so like because it's, yeah, they could essentially math it out because of the pity system. And I don't know, like a lot of us, some of the older players that are more combat oriented, like some players complain that why don't they just give us more abyss floors? You know, like the casual players can just stop at 12 and they don't have to do floor 13, floor 14, right? But then they also don't calculate the other side of that. That makes like some of the casual players might not appreciate that because like they want to quote unquote complete the game, and they don't feel like they completed the game if there's more floors that they weren't able to do, and they can't do it because they're on the casual side and they're like either they have skill issues or that sounds so bad saying it that way. They either aren't that good at video games in general or are playing on a device that is less than ideal to play on, and instead they feel anxious, and then like they feel so anxious that they're like, you know what, I'm gonna take a break, you know, right? Like exactly like how a lot of players feel like right now. I'm gonna take a break from this game, and then when they do take a break, they realize, wow, I didn't realize I haven't played Genshin in 6 months. I feel fine. All right, I guess I don't need to play anymore. I'll just uninstall. That game doesn't even have pity system, but you can choose any character or weapon you have once you have done 300 pulls. Oh, okay. Well, technically that is a pity system. Although it's not really, I don't know. Is it even gacha at that point? It sounds like you're just buying something. It just sounds like a purchase. It sounds like the pulls aren't even pulls anymore. It sounds like the pulls are currency. Right? Like you need 300 of this. Okay, how much is one? In Genshin, it's 160 Primo Gems. Okay, so how many of this thing do I need? 90. Right? It's like it's not even it sounds more like a purchase at that point. That being said, they are very safe. They seem very safe from gambling regulation. Do one multi? No, not on this account, man. Not on this account. I can't do that. Not with potential Cloren coming soon, and I don't know. Like some part of me even wants to get Baizhu. I mean, like I'm not. It's highly unlikely because like I can only think of like 1 or 2 teams that I would want to use Baizhu in. Just mostly. Oh, speaking of which, I actually wish I had a Baizhu for that Thundering Furry team that I have on my other account. Because I want to be able to run Hyper Bloom and Thundering Furry on the other account, or on the other side. And Baizhu just makes it so much easier. Technically 180 pulls is 100%. It does sound like you're buying a character with that amount, right? Like it sounds like the pulls, the wishes are just a currency and they're not something you need to do. Technically, the way it works is like you need to do it. You need to click on wish, but then it just sounds like you're buying wishes with Primo Gems and you're buying the character with your wishes. Right? It's a very solid defense, but you're exploiting the gambling side of the human psyche, right? That risk and reward satisfaction. You're abusing that. You're taking advantage of that. But at the same time, you don't need to be regulated on the same terms as like most other mediums that take advantage of this to make money, right? Like a casino, right? It takes advantage of this risk and get rewarded. Risk something, take the risk and get rewarded, kind of like part of our brains that just gets trapped in it in there once we're stuck once we get started. But casinos and like all these actual gambling mediums, they have to be regulated as gambling because there's no pity system. I still can't get over the thought of a casino in Las Vegas having a pity counter. Could you imagine two people at a blackjack table just chilling, doing small talk? Hey, what's your pity at? Oh, I'm almost, I'm almost at hard pity. I think in the next 10 rolls, I think in the next 10 turns, I'm gonna win. Right? But hey, if Vegas all of a sudden did that, all of a sudden they wouldn't have to be regulated as a gambling body anymore. Like they would, I'm sure they would still be, like, unless if they like actively fought against it, right? Because they've already been regulated as a gambling body for so long, then that's just gonna keep happening even if they suddenly made the changes. But if they actively put in an effort to not be regulated as a gambling body anymore, then I think with that defense, it's a purchase at that point. Get a 5-star and 50 pulls in that game, but getting the specific 5-star is hard. Oh, what is it, like random? You get a character in like 20 pulls. You feel like you got a promotion. You got a promotion of 80%. Yeah, right? Like that's the gambling part. That's the risk and reward part. You feel like you're, okay, like me doing this right now, right? I feel like, oh no, I have to save my primos for the next, for Arlecchino, because Arlecchino's coming and she's great. I like her, right? And then you clicking confirm, now you just risked the 160 primos that you would have been otherwise being able to use to get the chance to pull and for an Arlecchino. And then if you just so happen to get lucky, your risk got rewarded, right? And that's the addiction side. That's the addiction side. It's fueling your addiction, despite it not being, by definition, gambling, because you're technically, there was a chance. It's like there was a chance for you to win. You're buying something, but there was a chance for you to get a discount. There you go, kind of like that, right? There's a chance for you to get a discount. The casino Genshin talk's hilarious. I know, right? Like when I thought about it a few minutes ago, I couldn't. I can't. I'm just here building pity, don't mind me. Imagine you run out of money in Las Vegas when you're one spin away from guarantee. Oh no. Gotta commit some crime for that guarantee. You're gonna have to be homeless. From what for some reason, I remember a small documentary on homeless people in Vegas. I'm not sure if it was Vegas or some other city in some other state in. A city in the US. I don't remember, but I think it was Vegas. Yeah, it was just a very short, like 15-minute documentary where they were just following this following the life of this one homeless person, like, and he wasn't even homeless like because he was uneducated, couldn't get a job. He just didn't want to get a job anymore. He just quit his last job and then decided, like, I'm through with this. And so I think I remember him, like, what, once every few days he would ask for permission to use this like public restroom to take a shower. And like the people, because it was only him and like not a lot of people were abusing the system, yeah, they would just be fine with it. Yeah, like if you could live homeless for like a couple days just to save enough for that one last pity. so that you could get so you could hit hard pity and finally get your winnings back and go home. Literally cost choose 5 characters. They literally choose 5 characters in which one is your oh my god. That is like multiple levels of RNG. Although I'm pretty sure that's still not as bad as Genshin's artifact RNG system. At least that's what, like 1 or 2 levels of RNG? Guy 1. Hey man, look at him. He's new here. Guy 2. But I heard that he watched the game for 4 years before playing it. Are you sure about bidding with him? Oh man, this was fun. Yeah, I don't know if you're still in chat, Fly. Is he still in here? I don't know. He's been quiet. Maybe he's been just lurking. Yeah, probably. Oh yeah, I remember. He said he was gonna go into Abyss with the level 70 Shangling. Yo, thanks for letting me go through your account, man. That was fun. Like basically troubleshooting troubleshooting against an account. That was fun. I was meaning to just do like a 2-hour stream this evening and like get to bed at around midnight because like I started at around 10, and well, I had quite a bit of fun. I think I was like stuck there for like half an hour troubleshooting your account, but that was fun. I don't get to do that very often anymore, mostly because when people ask for an account review, it's mostly just some of them are probably expecting me to show it on the screen, and it's not actually a review. They just want to flex. But then like when they hear me start talking about what sounds like their account, and they realize, oh, this guy's not gonna show it on screen, they probably just leave because they didn't get their hit of like satisfaction that I didn't feed their ego. They got relics though. Which one whole other level as well? Oh, relics. I assume that's like their artifact thing. Can I use the Diluc team here? I guess on the second half. Man. This is kind of rough. I don't think this is a very good Abyss for the Diluc, the Zhao Luke, rather. I really do enjoy playing this team. Oh, you know what? I think that can work, but not on this account. Yeah, I think it can work on my main account. I'll probably just do that tomorrow. New Abyss later. Yeah, that's right. Pretty excited. Well, I don't think we're gonna get a new Abyss yet. Yeah, I think we're still gonna have the same Abyss because like we're not at 4.6 yet. And from what I remember, I don't think they've ever given us an advanced Abyss. Free Miss Hina worth 150 pulls, easy. Miss Hina. Also, what's up, Saki? How you doing, man? By the way, I'm getting bullied by Arlecchino. Oh my god. With huge personalities. Dude, I don't think you're getting bullied. I think you're getting yourself bullied is what's happening. Oh man, my brain's not working as well as it should anymore. I think I better hit the hay. Yeah, anyway, I'm surprised by Arlecchino's Donker's inner boss. What? Oh. Okay, you just reminded me of that. Yep, I remember being distracted by those personality traits. Yep, I remember being distracted for quite some time by her healthy personality. They tried to sugarcoat me to spend on Arlecchino. Doesn't change how Chlorinde is perfect. Yes! You know, I'm kind of anxious that they might make Chlorinde... Like, if I skip Arlecchino now, will I regret it when I find out about Arlecchino? Sorry, when I find out about Chlorine's kit, and then makes me realize, no, this would have been great with Arlecchino, and then I realize I just skipped Arlecchino because HOYO has done that in the past before, right? Like, HOYO has done that before, where... Hang on, let me try and think back to this, because like I never really put like mental bookmarks on things like these. I just remember what I feel, but I don't remember exactly what makes me feel in such a way. Maybe if I look at the character archive, yeah, because this is in the order of like when the characters come out. I remember feeling that way quite a few times, where I skip certain characters, and then a few patches down the line, a new character comes out that makes me realize a new character that's actually good, that's actually really good, makes me realize, oh, I should have gotten that character from before. I think, hang on. Yai and Nahida. So Yai, I don't feel as strongly as Yai, mostly because like Yai is just like, Yai's value is so much lower because Fischl exists. But in a world where in some other universe where HOYO exists, Genshin exists, and they didn't make Fischl, I think Yai Miko is actually really, really valuable. I'm gonna go and read some manga now, so bye. Oh, alright. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us, Bavish. Take care, man. There's a high chance Buttons Lady is gonna be in the 4.7 patch. Yeah, I'm kind of I'm anxious about that, right? And that's actually what I'm trying to look for right now. Is like I remember feeling that way before, where I skip a character, and then the next new character makes me feel like I should have gotten the character I just skipped. I think that was yes, Yelan, I think, was one of them, and that was mostly for when Dendro came out, right? Like, because now I needed another Xingqiu. I needed another Xingqiu because I wanted Xingqiu for my national team at the time, but I also wanted another Xingqiu for my Hyperbloom team when Dendro came out. Right? So I, very much regretted that. What else was it? Man, I can't remember. Oh, okay. I'm sure people who skipped Furrina but wished for neuvillette probably realized, man, I wish I got Furrina. Right? While, now in the far future, we know that neuvillette and Furrina work well together, but not perfectly together, especially if you don't have C1 neuvillette. But back then, it made it so obvious that people were regretting skipping Furrina to get neuvillette. Or some players probably regretted skipping Neuvillette. Sorry, the other way around. Skipping Neuvillette to get Furrina, right? Or skipping Risley to get Furrina. Nilo and Ida. Yeah, that was I'm sure that was another one too, right? Like some people regretted skipping Nilo to get Nahida because they realized, oh, Nahida actually works really well with Nilo, that character I just skipped. And some people was the other way around, right? Like they skipped. They're pulling for Nilo because wow, she's pretty, and oh, I like that team that's new, and then they didn't have enough Primo Gems for Nahida. Nope, I don't need Furrina when I can spawn a C6 friend Furrina instead. Well, that's, joke's on you. That only works with people that have friends. Ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. Not all of us are blessed, man. I will not regret it because I 100% believe in myself and my preference. I'm literally the guy who put 300 threads on 300 threads on Hu Tao, but I'm lazy, so I'm not gonna waste time on it. Sorry, what? 300 threads on Hu Tao? I don't get it. I wonder what unique stuff he has on her kit. Sorry, who are you talking about? Judging by the current roster, I think she might be an overload main DPS. Oh, you mean like Chlorinde, right? Yeah, because that is a niche we kind of lack in electro characters. Yes, and that is why I'm so anxious because of Chevreus's release. They released Chevreus, and like even before any hint of like rumors or leaks of Arlecchino, when I found out what Chevreus does, I immediately thought, oh no, am I gonna have to pull for Arlecchino? Because I already knew that I wanted Chlorinde, but I already knew that I didn't wanna go for Arlecchino. But then it made me think, oh wait, two characters that I know of that are guaranteed to be coming are Arlecchino and Chlorinde. Oh no, they're Pyro and Electro. Oh no, Chevreus is a Pyro / Electro buffer / Overload. Are they gonna work really well together? Is Chlorinde gonna be some kind of off-field cryo or Electro rather? Do you have Chevrolet? Wait. Chevrolet. Chevreus. Yes. Chevrolet. Did you see that guy on Twitter that made 300 comments on having Hu Tao is how Hu Tao is perfect? He is known as the #1 simp farmer. Oh my god. No, I'm sorry, man. Social media is foreign to me. I have a Facebook account, I have a Twitter account, but I do not have Twitter I do not have Twitter on my phone. I do not have the Twitter app. I have the Facebook app, but I logged out. I have my account logged out. I'm only logged into Facebook Messenger. Because I remember 10 years ago, no, 12 years ago, I remember, like, I was quite young too, right? Like, obviously I'm not super young, but right, like a lot younger than I am now, a lot less mature. I remember realizing 12 years ago, wow, this is a waste of time. Right? While technically it is nice to like post stuff about what's going on with you in your life on social media, and your friends and your family can see what's going on with you. But then at some point, especially when you're young, those social media posts that are supposed to be just to keep your social circle informed of what's going on with you, how are you doing, right? Instead, even though that's your main goal, a secondary goal is like implanted in your subconscious, where you feel anxious that nobody is commenting or reacting to your social media post, whereas you see other people that are posting basically nonsense on social media get a lot more. Whether, you know, and some people are immune to this, yes, but very few people are immune to that. And at some point 12 years ago, I realized this. I am just like, I'm not gaining anything from this. I'm not gaining anything from worrying about this so much. I'm not gaining anything from, even if I succeed in this, even if I feel good about this because I'm succeeding, what do I get? I'm not getting anything from it. So like, I just decided then, all right, that's it. Bye bye social media. I don't have Twitter either. This is a worldly known info. Well, I mean, yeah, it seems to be a worldly known info because, you know, I don't have social media and I'm finding this out, well, in this case, from you. Jeez, the Hu Tao guy, huh? Her has helped me so much early game. Her heal is better than Barbara's. She's gun, pyro spears. She's also very, you know, so when I didn't realize this immediately when I read her kit, I had to, when I watched Zajeff's video on Chevreuse, that was when I realized, oh yeah, her buff works even if even on enemies where you can't apply pyro or electro onto, right? Like, well, technically you could, Chevreuse is basically almost exactly like an Animo character with 4 VV, but an Animo character with 4 VV needs you to be able to apply pyro or electro on the enemy for you to be able to swirl. And while technically on an enemy that has permanent hydro aura, you can apply both electro. It can have both electro and hydro, but then like, how are you gonna guarantee that you're swirling electro and not just hydro, right? And Chevreuse just made that brain dead easy. And when I realized that, I was like, wow, I realized how valuable she was, but then when I realized that, I already realized, like, before I realized that, how valuable she was, but when I realized that, I was like, wow, she's even more valuable than I thought. I wanted terribly to C6 her, but Jianyan looked appetizing. Oh man, yeah, what banner did Chevreuse come on again? It was a Raiden Shogun rerun, I think. Yeah, I think it was a Raiden Shogun rerun, and I was pretty happy with that because, like, whoever was coming sooner after, I didn't care. I wanted to vertically invest in my Raiden Shogun. I spent a lot on her banners. I got Engulfing. I got her to C3 on my main and second accounts. My third account, unfortunately, at the time didn't have that many primos, so I could only get Engulfing and not C1. I think, yeah, just C0. But I will still plan to vertically invest into her, even on my third account as well. Yeah, and somehow I got pretty lucky. I got to C6 on my main and second accounts. My third account somehow got quite lucky. Like, I lost 50-50, so I didn't get a C1 even. But despite not having that many wishes, I still somehow got her to C5. And then, like, recently, I think, yeah, recently, I just got her from standard. And, like, on my third account, she's C6 now. I think. Is that right? No, this is the character archive. Oh, yes. Yeah. So that was right. Yeah. Not C. Oof. I just realized when I stopped, I just realized what I said. I certainly hope the men in black aren't going to come knocking on my door in the next 5 minutes. I was wondering, what if someone built a C6 DPS Dory, pair her together with Benny and Chevy, plus a flex slot, or another Pyro or Electro Dory's self-applies Electro Aura, and Benny applies Pyro Aura. You know, I'm sure somebody's tried that, because yeah, Zajef has mentioned quite a few times that C6 Dory is a DPS. Like, what is below decent? Usable? I guess. Yeah, C6 Dory is actually a usable DPS. Yeah, on fielder. Wouldn't you be self-exploding with an overload? Well, I mean, you're self-infusing. You're not the infusion. Sorry, not infusing. The electro and the pyro are being applied by you. They're not just being applied by like the world, or like through a lightning strike on the ground, or like by the enemies. So I don't think it would overload you. Anyway, my brain's about to die, guys. I think that's gonna be it for me for today. Anyway, I appreciate you all coming by to hang out, and like just hanging out. So for anyone who needs help building their characters, accounts, making a decision on which banners to pull for, feel free to join our Discord server. Links are in the description of all my videos, VODs, and streams. Of course, you can ping me over there to ask for my opinion specifically. My name is Elvis Einstein on Discord server. Of course, you can ask for other people's opinions. Thank you so much, guys, for coming by, hanging out, and being awesome people. Have a good day, good afternoon, good evening, and take care, everybody. Bye, guys. You can go now. Thank you. Man, I'm so happy I set this up. I love the ending screen.